There is an obvious solution to the biggest problem with Tom Ellis CIA, but so far, CBS is not utilizing it. CIA is the latest spin-off of FBI, and currently is the only spin-off in production. The other two spin-offs, FBI, International and FBI, Most Wanted, were among the shows CBS cancelled in 2025 despite relatively high ratings. CIA's premiere has been delayed until mid-season despite getting a straight-to-series order from CBS. This disappointing news is partially because the series changed showrunners and will now be led by Law & Order, SVU alum Warren Leight. However, the series has not yet made casting announcements besides Ellis, which may be part of the reason for the delay. CIA is struggling with its choosing the cast to join Tom Ellis. No new casting decisions have been made. Remy points his gun while standing in a church in FBI, Most Wanted image by Milica Georgievic. Although CIA quickly announced that Ellis would take the lead role, no other casting decisions have been announced. CIA appears to be focusing on polishing its initial scripts before deciding who to cast, via TV line. Thus, the show is in limbo cast-wise and it would be impossible for it to go into production quickly enough for the fall season. It is also difficult to create buzz for this new series. Networks typically prime audiences for the premiere of new shows by announcing casting decisions as they are finalized before moving on to creating trailers. However, with no cast chosen besides Ellis, momentum has stalled and there has been little to no advertising of this series. The lack of movement in casting means that CIA has also not decided whether to include any characters from the now-ended FBI spin-offs. This is unfortunate news, considering that those shows are still popular and their audiences might be more likely to watch CIA if their favorite characters from the other shows were included. Once the scripts are polished and Leight is ready to make casting decisions, he will likely announce whether these FBI franchise characters will be included. The earlier this decision is made, the better it will be for generating the excitement that is needed to ensure CIA is as successful as other shows in the franchise have been. CBS can easily bring back characters from cancelled CBS spin-offs to join CIA. There is no real reason for the delay. It's understandable that CIA suffered a setback in its production plans due to the change in showrunner. Leight likely has different ideas about the direction to take the new procedural, so it will take time to retool the series. However, one of the first decisions Leight should make is whether to include characters from cancelled FBI spin-offs. If Leight goes in this direction, it should be fairly easy to fill out the cast, assuming the actors involved are available and want to join CIA. The characters are already familiar to the audience, and CIA would only have to explain why they were working for the CIA now instead of for the team they left behind. There are several strong contenders for these roles. While it's unlikely that Scott Forrester would return, considering that Luke Kleintank left FBI International to spend more time with his family, Forrester's disappointing FBI universe exit could easily be retconned into him having been recruited by the CIA. Similarly, FBI Most Wanted's Hannah's computer skills are in high demand, so it would be reasonable for the CIA to recruit her. Conversely, FBI International's Amanda Tate was not given enough to do in FBI International Season 4, so CIA could correct this oversight by having her return as a computer analyst. Of course, there is room for other types of FBI characters in the new series. Almost any character from the cancelled shows could conceivably be part of the newest spin-off. The only characters who are likely off-limits are Remy Scott and Cheryl Barnes from FBI Most Wanted, as Remy retired and Barnes took his place after the final episode. Bringing in familiar faces increases the chances of CIA's success. Audiences will be more likely to give the new series a chance. Christina Wolf as Special Agent Amanda Tate in FBI International Season 4, Episode 4. CBS took a risk by cancelling the other two FBI spin-offs in favor of developing CIA. The Tom Ellis-led procedural is a new show, and audiences won't automatically transfer over simply because it is part of the franchise they love, especially considering that the other spin-offs were still popular at the time of cancellation. That CIA needs to find its own audience. However, enticing the audiences from FBI International and FBI Most Wanted to give CIA a chance will help it rise in the ratings. This procedural is at even more of a disadvantage because its start has been delayed until mid-season. Adding characters from the two cancelled FBI spin-offs is one of the best ways that CIA could get audiences excited about the new series. Audiences are more likely to tune in when they realize that this show is providing new stories about beloved characters from the cancelled series. That said, CIA needs to ensure that the characters are included in ways that make sense so that it doesn't feel like a cheap marketing ploy. As long as the procedural is careful with the characters' backstories, however, there is no reason not to include them, and doing so will help build excitement.